Namaste, good morning, or good day, or good evening, whatever time of day it is that you're watching this video. I have a nice short, gentle flow for us that's designed for fall. So this is a fall balancing sequence, and it begins on your mat. Please lie down in constructive rest. Feet are nice and wide apart, knees lifted. Hands can be anywhere you like, down by the hips. Begin by taking a few Ujjayi breaths here. Come into your breath, come into your practice, come into this sacred space, this time for you to connect deeply with the present moment and with your body. Feel the gentle rising and falling of each and every breath. And take just another breath or two here to really ground into the floor beneath you. We'll stretch the legs out long and reach through the fingertips. Take a nice full body stretch, arching the lower back up off the floor. Press through the heels, reach through the fingertips. One more breath in, hold just for a moment. And as you exhale, hug both the knees into the chest. Rock side to side. Coming back to center, hands interlaced just over the right shin. Left leg extends out onto the floor. Now give a nice firm squeeze here, drawing your right knee in towards the armpit. Take a few breaths low and deep into the belly. Releasing into spinal twist. Draw the knee across the body. Gaze out towards your right fingertips. And if you're doing this practice early in the morning, then take it easy. Maybe let your knee bounce up and down a few times to awaken the spine. So more of a gentle approach into the spine. If you're practicing later in the day, your body's already warm, then you can just go right for that deep stretch. On your inhale, come back to center. Right leg extends out onto the floor. Left knee draws in, interlace the fingers, squeeze towards the armpit, pressing out through the right heel onto the mat. Breathe here. And we'll release into the spinal twist from here as well. So left knee is guided across the body, gazing out now towards left fingertips. Again, taking little pulses if your spine is not so warm, or just letting your knee totally surrender down towards the floor if you're ready for that. One more full breath here. Great, come back to center, plant both the feet on the mat, hands down by the hips, we'll roll up into bridge. Exhale, press the lower back flat onto the floor, tailbone starts to lift. Inhale, hips lift, arms lift up overhead as well, lift the heels. And exhale, start to bring the hands down. As you roll down the spine, keep the heels lifted. Sacrum touches heels, release, take a breath. Exhale. Press that belly button down, tailbone starts to lift. Inhale, hips lift, arms lift, heels lift. Heels stay lifted. Exhale, spine comes down, arms come down. Roll and awaken the whole spinal column into the mat. Heels touch the earth, take a breath. And we'll do one more. Inhale, arms up, heels stay down until the very last. And then once the hips are up, heels lift. Exhale, come on down. At the bottom this time, hug the knees into the chest. Once again, take a nice firm squeeze, big breath in, and as you exhale, lift the forehead to the knees and take a couple breaths right here in this nice small posture. As the head releases down, happy baby. Hands between the knees, hold the outer edges of the feet, rock gently side to side. Great. Hold on to the backs of the knees and rock and roll. Take a few rocks and a few rolls, coming on up to a seated position. Sitting comfortably in Sukhasana, you're always welcome to sit onto a bolster if you want to elevate the hips behind you to make it more comfortable to be on the floor. All right, inhale, the arms come up overhead. Exhale, the left fingertips to the floor. Inhale, reach through the right side. Plant that right hip heavy into the mat. Breathe into right side body. You can look up to the ceiling. You can look forward to the horizon. You can look down to the mat. Whatever feels good for you. But most importantly, breathe into those right side ribs. And come back up through center. We'll switch sides. Left arm coming up and overhead. Breathe. Left side body opening. Use your Ujjayi breath. Very nice. As you come back up to center, keep your arm up. Both arms up again. We'll take it into a twist. Right hand reaches across the body, left hand behind. Nice. Sit up nice and tall, shoulders right over the hips. Turn to look back over left shoulder. Drop the chin down. This is all about the breath. Feel the fullness of the breath along the spine and torso. Exhale through center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale to the other side. Just a simple twist. And please return to center again. Roll the shoulders, circle them up. Exhale them back and down. But we really want to push, pull, and squeeze all of the tension through the shoulders. Go in the other direction. Last one. Excellent. Find tabletop. Come onto hands and knees. For some cat-cows, inhale, belly drops, tailbone and heart lift, look forward. Exhale, reverse, press into the hands, press into the knees, arch the spine to the ceiling. And again, inhale, belly drops, heart comes forward through the shoulder heads. Exhale, reverse it, hug the belly button into the spine. We'll take one more of these with your breath. Very nice. From a neutral spine, use your hands. Tuck the toes under first. Use your hands to press the hips back onto the heels. Let your head come down. It may or may not touch the floor. That doesn't matter so much. But you're pressing the hands down into the mat, shifting the weight back towards the hips and into the feet. If this is too much for your toes, of course, just release the toenails onto the floor and rest here in child's pose. Otherwise, we get a child's pose with a little more opening for the bottom of the foot. Now shift the weight from the big toe side to the pinky toe side. Great. Come on up, tabletop. Once again, release, lift the feet, squeeze and release the toes a few times, then point the toes back and lightly tap the feet onto the mat. Toes tucked, downward facing dog. Hips lift up and back. Bicycle it out, bending the knees one at a time. Awaken through the calves and the hamstrings here. Let it feel good. Great. Separate the feet hips distance apart. And we'll take about 5 breaths here. Downward facing dog. Send your heels heavy to the floor. Lift the kneecaps though. Firm your thighs. Press your thigh bones to the back wall. As you press down into the hands, draw your front ribs in towards the body and lengthen through the armpit. Spiral your shoulder blades out away from the spine and make sure your shoulder blades are away from the ears, not scrunching up around the ears, but really rooted down the back. Take one more breath. Very good. Come forward, high plank pose, shoulders over the wrists. Press back through the heels. There's a nice long line from the tailbone, the heels, the tailbone, and the head all in a nice long line. No high butts, in other words. So get the butt down, but not too far down, right? So we're nice and supported in the middle here, where it takes a lot of strength. Take one more breath and bring the knees down to the floor. Elbows bend. The whole body will come down to the mat. Great. Fingertips are lined up with the shoulders here, the tops of the shoulders. Press down into the hands just slightly to spiral the fingers away from the midline. This brings the elbows closer together. Again, bring your shoulder blades down the back. Keep all that going. Press into the feet, tops of the feet, toenails and pinky nails on the mat. Internally rotate the upper thighs, send the tailbone towards the heels. Now inhale, lift, Bhujangasana, Cobra. Lift, just the strength of your spine. You should be able to pick your hands up off the floor here. Just the strength of your spine. Good. Breathe. Use your Ujjayi breath. Feel that strength of your spine lifting your shoulders up off the floor. Take one more breath in. Exhale, forehead to the mat. Keep your hands right where they are, but let all of that muscular engagement release as you take a few deep breaths to rest. Okay, engage everything again, from the toenails, legs, kneecaps lifted, tailbone towards the heels. Press down into the hands, spiral the fingers away from the midline. Again, inhale, lift the chest, and then come up onto the hands. A little bit stronger in our Bhujangasana here, Cobra pose. Breathing, feeling that compression in the lumbar spine. Let it feel good. If it feels too intense, you're too high, come on down a little bit. Take one more breath. Nice. Slowly, slowly back down to the ground. Keep your hands where they are, forehead to the floor. Take a few balloon breaths into the lower belly and the back. On your exhale, belly button draws into the spine to keep the lower back stable. Press through the hands and find child's pose. Hips onto heels this time, forehead to the floor. Rest here. Feel that stretch and opening through the lower back, lengthening the lumbar spine, which we just squeezed in our Cobra pose. Excuse me. Inhale, come up through tabletop. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog, hips lift. Take one breath in here. Exhale, gaze forward and walk your feet to your hands. Feet are nice and wide. Hands reach for opposite elbows, ragdoll pose. Now, more depth into the hamstrings. You can sway the torso side to side. Great. Come back to center, release the hands, bend the knees. Exhale, belly to spine, and inhale, slowly roll up to Tadasana, to mountain pose. Step the feet together. Spread the toes wide, ground and anchor through the feet. Your whole body still here, balanced between the big toe and the pinky toe and the two sides of the heel. Focus your gaze. Bring the palms to touch at heart center, Samasthiti. We'll take an inhale, and with your exhale, step out to the side. Doesn't matter which side you step, probably the side so that you can face your device here. And we'll go to the right side first, warrior two. Inhale the arms up, right toes turn out. Exhale, bend down, nice and strong into your warrior two. We're just gonna hold it today like a beast. That's what I wanna say. I'm not sure that's what I should say, but anyway, we're gonna be strong and wild, grounded and connected in our warrior two. Gaze forward over the tip of that finger and breathe. Last breath in. Good. Exhale, release the arms down as you straighten the legs. Roll the shoulders a few times, releasing there. Left toes turn out, arms come up. Inhale, exhale, bend into the knee. Great. Same thing. Focus your drishti, the tip of the middle finger. Feel the posture. Work the posture. Challenge yourself. See if you can get your front thigh to move towards parallel to the floor as you press that front knee towards the pinky toe side. Last breath in. Good. Release the hands down, roll the shoulders again. This time both toes point forward, and you might want to bring the feet, the stance, a little bit closer together. Lift the kneecaps, hands on hips. Inhale, lift the chin. Exhale, fold forward and down, hands onto the mat. Gaze back behind you. Several breaths here. Inhale, please, come up halfway. And place the left fingertips under the face. You can be palm down if you want, but I think fingertips is better. Right arm sweeps up, take a twist. And today, let your hips drop down, it's fine. Really go for the twist, go for the length of the spine. So every inhale, crown of the head and tailbone moving away from each other. We'll take another breath in. And exhale. Replacing, right fingertips down, left arm sweeps up. And again, exhale, release the hand down, softly bend the knees. Walk the hands up to the hips as you exhale, belly to spine. Inhale, come all the way up. All right, heel toe the feet together and step to the top of your mat for a standing balance. So I'm gonna face towards you for tree pose, Vriksasana today. Right leg is our standing leg. Spread those toes nice and wide. Bring your left foot into position. Perhaps keep the toes on the mat. Bring the foot to the calf, or the foot to the thigh, or the heel to the groin. It doesn't matter how far you go. That's never what it's about. Hands to the heart. Focus your gaze. Perhaps today you want to keep your hands right here, or maybe arms can reach up to the sky, growing your tree nice and tall. Wherever you are, breathing. A focused yet soft gaze. Eyes steady, but there's a softness around the eyes. No tension in the face. Breathing in again. Exhale, hands to the heart and to the hips, release, give a shake. And when you step that left foot down, do it with purpose. Spread the toes. Bring your right foot into position. Maybe the same on this side, see if you can. Maybe different on this side, that's fine too. Palms can stay together at the heart in a prayerful position, or extend the arms up and breathe into your tree. Exhale, hands to heart and then to hips, release the leg, give it a shake. At the top of your mat, inhale, the arms come out and up. Gaze to your thumbs. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hands plant, step back. Take a breath here. Good. Now bring your feet nice and wide in preparation for squat. Toes can turn out if they need to. We want the toes and the knees in the same, pointing in the same direction. As the hands walk back, you might just take a half squat here, resting your forearms onto your elbows. This is a wonderful place. You can bring the palms together here. Fingertips can point down. This is a wonderful place to rest. If you have the openness in the hips, you can rest in a fuller expression of Malasana, garland pose, letting the elbows come down between the knees as the hips drop down. Let's take several breaths here. Very good. To release, hands come behind. Yeah, we'll sit down onto the floor. Extend the legs and give them a nice bounce and a rock. Release the legs totally. If you have a bolster close by, I recommend placing a bolster under the knees, but that's not necessary. If you're feeling really groovy in your hamstrings today, then the bolster isn't needed. But a lot of us will benefit in a forward fold by having some extra support for the hamstrings. So for here, let's just take a breath in, and the head is going to guide us in. So let the chin begin to fall forward, and then the weight of your head will just pull you down and into the posture. Now, we want to focus on the spine rounding. Yes, the hamstrings are getting a release, but also let your spine round today and breathe into the back of the body. Breathe into that C curve of the spine. Breathe into the spaces between the back rib bones. Palms placed down onto the mat. Use your hands to walk yourself up vertebrae by vertebrae. At the top, just take a breath here, nice and tall through the spine. And we'll release, bolster off to the side. All right, come down onto the back, hug the knees into the chest. Rock a bit side to side. And eventually pause in the center, take an inhale. This is where we began our practice in a way, so it's appropriate that we're ending the practice here as well. This time our twist a little bit different. To end the practice, hands come out to the side, palms down. Lift your ankles so they're level with the knee and bring both the knees down to the left side. Left hand is there to ground the knees. Gaze towards the right fingertips. Breathing fully and deeply. Your inhale brings you back to center and to the other side. So knees release down to the right. Take your time. Gaze out through those left fingertips. And once again, back to center. Happy baby pose. Lastly, ankles lift above the knees as you hold on to the feet. Rock. And please step your feet down onto the floor and straighten your legs out. Our final rest, Shavasana. That bolster also will feel really good under the knees here. If you want to take a moment to grab the bolster and get yourself comfortable. Walk your shoulder blades down away from the ears, palms face up to the ceiling. Let's take a deep breath in. And exhale that breath like a cleansing wave down from the crown of the head, out through the fingers, out through the toes. And we'll do another deep breath in. And exhale, release all the way through the body. Please let your breath go now. And rest here for some time. 5 minutes, if you've got it. 5 minutes is great. Just let yourself rest as you feel the calmness and the aliveness cultivated from your yoga practice, marinating into the cells of the body. Thank you for joining me in practice today. I'll see you again next time.